Boom, boom, boom. This is Jared, and I'm back. That's right. All right, man. I'm super pumped. So excited to do this tonight. Of course, I'm your host, Jared A. Brown, and this is the Warriors Quest show. Man, put some Cool Whip on it tonight. We've got something sweet. All right, we're bringing it. All right, we've got a great story, and I'm glad you're tuning in. All right, but please don't be stingy. Please share, all right? Because this warrior needs to get his story told. So please don't be stingy. Let's get this out there. Share it on Facebook, share it on Twitter. Let's get this out there and have your friends, family, everybody share it. All right, where's my sign? There was my banner. Don't be stingy. All right, so man, I've got a great co-host tonight. All right, when I had our special guest, Marshall Parson, scheduled, all right, there was a story that was similar, not identical, but similar, and I thought of Emmett Henderson, and so I reached out to him, I hit him up and talked to him and asked him if he'd want to come on, and he obliged, and I'm happy to have him co-host tonight. So, man, I'm going to bring on Emmett Henderson all the way from, hopefully still, even in December, sunny San Diego, California. Although it looked like he was at a casino today or something. I'll have to ask him. But I'm going to bring him on right now. Here we go. Special co-host. Welcome. Boom. Boom, 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 boom. What's up?
Man, I love that introduction. That might have changed from the last time I was on the
show.
Yeah,
I have. I have updated it. Yeah, that's for sure.
I am loving it. Jared, I want to say thank you for having me. Yes, I am still in sunny San Diego at about 5:45 where it's dark. And yes, you were right. I was at a casino celebrating my mother's birthday with her.
Kelly.
So,
that's right. Yeah.
So yeah, she it was her day. That's what she loves. So you know what? I treated her. There's nothing I would not do for my mom. We all know that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I love that.
Sir.
I love that. Yeah, that's awesome. I hope she had a great day then, man.
Oh, of course, man. Of course. I made it special. I made sure she had everything she wanted, any game she wanted to play, all the food she wanted. It was nice. It was nice.
Cool. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, man, again, like I said, when I heard this kidney warrior that's coming on tonight, all right, we're going to bring him on very soon. When I heard his story, it sounded similar, not identical, but it sounded similar. And with your story and everything that you've survived, endured, and still overcoming, I just thought maybe you'd be a great fit to co-host tonight. So, man, I'm excited that you can talk to him and another warrior can relate, if you know what I mean, to what he's going through right now.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Men with lupus is a kind of a rare thing as it is anyway. But then with kidney failure, which is really common in men with lupus, I am so interested to hear this guy's story. I am so interested to compare what I went through as a male, what he's going through as a male. So that's huge, man. That's really huge. And again, thank you for having me on here.
All right, you're welcome, man. Let's bring him on. All right, so he's from Charlotte, North Carolina, but he lives in San Antonio, Texas, and so I'm going to bring on Marshall Parson. Here we go. Let's give him a very special Warriors Quest show. Welcome, everyone. All right, so here we go. I'm going to bring him on right now with a VIP intro. Boom. welcome, 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 Marshall.
Yeah.
Hey, hold on. It looks like we got Emmett's mic. There we go. You got it unmuted. What? Welcome to Warriors Quest, Marshall.
Oh, it's my pleasure to be here. It is my pleasure to be here.
Good to have you,
All
Marshall.
right.
Good to have you.
Cool, cool. So, hey guys, what I'm gonna do is we're
good to
gonna play
meet you.
musical chairs for a moment, okay? I'm gonna move you guys around so Marshall is in the middle. So bear with me a moment. All right, there we go. So just a little switcheroo. We're gonna put you in the middle, Marshall, because we're spotlighting you tonight. Again, I'm super excited to get your story out and have viewers hear about your journey because every journey, is even though they're similar, they're different. It's kind of like a snowflake. Is that even though they're similar, they're all different. And so I'm excited to hear it.
Right.
I'm excited to get it out there, broadcast it to Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and everybody on YouTube, of course. So, you know, so yeah, I'll let you introduce yourself a little bit better. I know that you're originally from, if I'm not mistaken, Charlotte, North Carolina, but you live in San Antonio, Texas
Yes,
now. I'll have you introduce yourself. Tell us, a little bit about your hero's origin story. All right.
yes, sir. Thank you for that. I appreciate it, and I'm very excited, and I appreciate both of you. I am from Charlotte, North Carolina. Like you said, I grew up,
It's got a bad connection on here.
with some really wonderful parents. I was a foster child. My mother was a my mother was she had 4 kids. I have 2 siblings, one brother and 2 sisters. It's 4 of us, and like any normal kid, I grew up in a really nice home. I was very fortunate. Grew up with school. I graduated from high school in Charlotte, North Carolina, and then I went to college. I am a basketball and a huge tennis player. I went to school on a tennis scholarship. I was very active in all
Wow.
sports growing up. And
Okay.
I went
So you were
into
always
went to a,
you were always active physically then. Okay.
yes, I was very active. I went to when I went to school. I also played in like the bands, and I was in these clubs and things like that. So I actually played in the marching band, and I played in concert bands. So I did a lot of like a normal kid. At least I thought I was normal.
Right.
I did a lot of things. I was very active. When I came out of college, I went to the military. I still very active. I was a medic in the military,
Hmm.
Army Reserves, and in the Army, of course, Reserves was my first incident of lupus. At that time, we didn't even know what it was. We didn't know what was going on. It was just out the cold blue. I was in AIT, which is we consider your job training. And I was oddly enough, I was in San Antonio. I was in San Antonio at Fort Sam. I was training to be a medic. I got real sick. I had to go to the hospital, and it was something with my blood. It was something called thrombocytopenia, which was basically the lupus attacking my blood. But we didn't know it was lupus at the time. It was just a flare up.
Hmm.
I went through a quick flare up, maybe 2 weeks. I came out of the hospital. Went back to training. Got well, and I thought I'm good. It's just one of those incidents in life. It happens. I got out of the military. I did my time. I started working at a bank, Wells Fargo, as a kind of like a tech.
Okay.
And I went back to school again, got my master's degree, started teaching, worked as a manager, and
Nice.
everything went
Impressive.
crazy after that. Yeah, yeah, everything just from there. My health went. It just went haywire. Um, Incidents. We were talking. Emmett and I were talking about it. My first incident was these uh, sores on my ankles. It started with my ankles, and it started with my skin. I had little blotches on my skin, but they were painful. I mean, real painful. Felt like somebody was burning me with a stake or something. And that's when I finally found out that I was fully diagnosed with lupus. That was one of my first major incidents. And then from there, I had the lung issue, the kidney issue, a little heart issue. So I went through those phases.
Wow.
And then losing my kidneys.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how long ago did you find out did this all happen? How long has it been since you were diagnosed with lupus? About 5 years ago?
It's been about I say I moved here in San Antonio in 2010. So I had to be diagnosed around 2011 or 12. And from so that I say about 9 years,
All right.
Right. And
so Marshall, if I could ask you as well, if you can hear me okay, prior to the military, any symptoms or signs as a younger man, maybe a kid, maybe?
It's funny you asked that, Emmett. When I look back now, what I'm going through now, and I kind of reminisce on some of my days I was sick. When I got sick, it was an odd sick. It was a sick, not like other kids, where I would be out for a week.
Yep.
And I didn't think nothing of it. I just thought my mom probably didn't.
That sounds a lot like your story. It does.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
He's just, he's like he's just, and I didn't get sick much, but when I got sick, I got sick. I was out for days at a time, and my mother would be like, man, why is he so sick? And they would give me the simple cough medicine or, the aspirin, and I would get through it. But I had these extreme breakouts, maybe fevers that were extreme. Yep. They would have to put me in ice baths or something to bring it down. It was bad, and they just thought it was, some simple flu. But when I look back at it, I probably was having flare-ups.
Could have been that,
I didn't know it. So,
that's probably 99%. I think lupus was there with you 99% because everything you're describing reminisce everything that happened to me. Now, as young boys, as young men back then, we get sick, we brush it off and keep on going. It's not anything that we say, take us to the doctor. Take us to the doctor now. It's not anything we say. Our parents told us rest. We rested. We got better. We kept on moving. So you're exactly what happened to you. It's the same thing with me. Exactly.
Right.
Wow. And so, and that's, and that's why this show and this platform is so important, because it's, as much as it is frustrating to hear, because I get it to a certain point, guys. All right. That, that doctors are not like totally perfect. I get that. I do. It would be foolish of me to think that they'd have to be, but there just seems to be many stories, whether it's kidney warriors or you guys who are both kidney warriors and lupus warriors, where I hear about the diagnosis wasn't necessarily at a younger age. So, how can we, get more education so that we can maybe have doctors diagnose this at an earlier, age, so that we can maybe help, slow that down, if you know what I mean.
Well, I can pretty much say, at least on my behalf, because it was such a long time ago in '95, the last thing they were looking for with me was an autoimmune disease for lupus. It could have been an autoimmune disease, but lupus is one of those mysterious ones. However, they found out it was lupus when they confirmed that it was my kidneys that were failing. When my kidneys were failing, they knew that, okay, we're not going to send this guy home this time. We need to find out now what it is, because he's been coming in here and nothing's been wrong that we found. I went home for joint pains. I went home for fevers. I went home for all of this, that they just decided not to go that extra step. But then when it was the kidneys, now that got everybody's attention, because we need to find out now.
Right, because that's a serious thing, it's not that it wasn't serious before, but that ended up being something that, this isn't just, something that is going to go away. That was the turning point, the catalyst, so to speak, right?
Exactly.
Right.
But then, you know,
So
with
when Emmett,
go ahead, go ahead.
oh, I was gonna say, Emmett made a great point. I was thinking back at some of my experiences, and you asked a great question. And I think, when I was growing up, our symptoms mirror the same symptoms as maybe the flu, or they mirror the same
Right.
symptoms as maybe,
Okay.
something that is not necessarily deemed as serious. So what happens is
Okay.
doctors, like you said,
They
they do their
easily
best, and they
misdiagnose
give
it.
you the advice at that point, unless they
Yeah.
actually do a blood test,
Right.
and I would think now doctors are a lot smarter, more advanced, technology is more advanced. So, they have these blood tests, these markers that actually tell now if, I forgot what it's called, but if your marker is, above or below a certain point,
Wow.
that they can
Really?
identify if you have an
Yeah.
autoimmune illness.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's different now, than it was when we were growing up. Nobody would have thought,
Hmm.
hey, I need to take this gentleman's blood and check his
Right.
markers to
Right.
see if
Right.
he has an
I wouldn't,
autoimmune illness.
back
So,
in 19, like
yeah,
1985
you're
or,
like,
or
Mhm.
1988 when I was a
right,
teenager. I wouldn't have thought of
right,
something like that.
No, no, you wouldn't
right.
have. And the one thing
Yeah,
about
and
these
we wouldn't
auto,
either.
go ahead. I was going to say the one thing about these autoimmune diseases, though, is that you
Uh-huh.
can have all of these symptoms, but because they're different, everybody's going to think they're different episodes, but yet not think that it's one thing that's
Right,
causing everything. And then not only that, but we have to also be proactive
right,
and self do ourselves because we have to advocate for ourselves. If we go in and we give them symptoms that has nothing to do with blood draw, they will not draw your
Hmm.
blood and therefore they'll never know. Remember, I went in for
right,
joint
right,
pains. There's no
right,
reason to draw my blood for joint pains. They did x-rays and I got sent home. But when I
right,
complained
Wow.
about internal pain, and then of course getting on the transplant list and all that good stuff. So
Right.
it's just different.
yeah, yeah. It really hurt me. I am, like I said, I just was diagnosed with end stage about a year or 2 years ago, and my journey was really tough. Now I'm at the point where I'm sort of like I'm moving into this this awareness phase of my life where I want to be an advocate for others.
Hmm.
I don't want them to go through what I went through. Like Emmett said, I wouldn't want,
Right.
a gentleman who can avoid,
Somebody else. Yeah.
losing a kidney. Yes, because, the shock of it, for me, especially going from, someone who is extremely active, someone, like you said, who
Right.
has to come home
Yeah.
and
Right.
be stuck to a machine at a specific time. I have a curfew. I'm making
It, it may be a connectivity issue.
Yeah. So if Marshall, if you can hear me, can I ask the style of dialysis? Are you on? Were you on hemoperitoneal?
It looks like he's muted.
I think so. Oh yeah, he is. He's muted. You're muted, Marshall. And Jared, that's one of the crazy things about dialysis and things like that. It's you go from being such an active person, the way Marshall says he was, the way I know I was, to all
Right.
of a sudden having a curfew because I
right,
had to go home and do peritoneal dialysis 9 hours a night. I had to
Yeah.
go home while my boys went to the bars and the club at night,
right.
and
Yeah.
I had to go plug into a machine at night. But
So, so you, so Marshall,
Right.
and they hear
Exactly. Right.
curfew.
That's
They
the
hear
story.
curfew.
Yes.
They hear the word curfew. I mean, it just makes me, it makes me giggle because it makes me think of like like you're like on a strict schedule or something. But you're right. I
yeah,
mean, your life is changing.
oh
It
Your
yeah,
life is
is.
turned upside down.
Right. You know, I had a Emmett, I had a we could talk about this. My boys love we laugh about it, but I had a dinner party last week, me and my roommate. I live downtown Charlotte, and I have a pretty nice place. And so on our we have a terrace where you can see downtown. And so, but the joke was, hey, Marshall, you gotta hurry up, clean up, because you gotta hiccup. For them, I can joke about it. I can joke about it now, you know what I mean? But
yeah,
a year ago, I probably put that up, but because I had just started my, my treatments. But now it's a blessing. I can laugh about it. I named my machine because I love her so much. I know.
Yeah, you've named the machine.
Those
All right,
of things.
cool.
And you get to that point in your life where I right, because remember, at the end of the day, that machine is my kidney, and I
It's your
love,
life support. Yeah,
and she keeps me alive until the
keeping
day
you
that I get my
alive.
actual transplant.
right.
That's right.
That's exactly right. I'm not mad at it. I'm
Is it
not.
a fly name?
Believe me, it took some growing
It's not
up
something like
and
Albert
maturing.
or something distinguished, is it?
But we'll keep it. No. It's a female name, but we'll keep it.
All right.
To myself, it was the name that
All right.
I had went to a club a while back, so we'll keep that. Right. But anyway, I am very, very appreciative, and I look forward to life. I am someone who, who take what Emmett is giving me, and will take what Mr. Brown, Jared, what you give me, and I'm going to take and learn a lot about, these things to help advocate, like you said, for others, because it's not a disease that you really, you make fun of. It's a serious disease. And,
It is a serious
I've
disease.
seen a lot
Amen.
of folks
who
have suffered, who have truly has suffered. And I listened to him,
right.
When we had that small break, and you gave me your story, I'm telling you, I was so touched, and I thought that I had gone through something. I haven't gone through, not remotely, what you have just told me, and I admire you from now that I've heard your story. I admire you so much, from that perspective of getting through what you've gotten through, and to be able to help me through what I think is not even that much. I'm just waiting on a kidney. Hopefully, I don't have to go through some of the other stuff that you're going through, because you got me scared now. So,
yeah, but you know what though, Marshall? It's actually, it's platforms. It's platforms like what Jared's doing that puts these things out there for people to understand and learn. There's somebody right now watching this that's going to need a transplant. They can see what I've been through. They see what you're going through. Man, we talking positive. We even sharing laughs. It's kind of like we want them watching this, having that same smile and laugh, because
it does.
You're going to get through it too.
Exactly. Right. It is. We want to give hope, and we want to create hope. With that being said, Marshall, you're right. Is that this is something that's really serious, and your quality of life is changed. You're still going to have lupus even after a transplant, but with a transplant, and if somebody is compassionate enough to come forward, then your quality of life will be enhanced, even though lupus will still be there. But your quality of life will be enhanced. It's great that you're able to do, dialysis at home with peritoneal, because that does afford you some flexibility. However, you with kidney, your kidney's not functioning. You're still going to have a part of your life that is shortened. You talked about a curfew, but there are some other things that go along with it that change your life because of your functions.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And some dudes and other kidney warriors talk about where they can't even urinate anymore, because of their kidneys not functioning. And some of them, when I ask them, seriously, what's one of the things that you look forward to when you get your kidney transplant? One of the top answers, like if it were the Family Feud, would be to pee.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You're absolutely right, man. I'm telling you, I've been there. So it's a relief. It's a relief.
You know, but the quality of life is kind of what I wanted to talk about. Go ahead, Marshall.
Right. Oh, okay. No, I was gonna ask you a question about the quality of life.
Yeah.
My quality of life, really, honestly, the hugest impact is having to get back to my domain here. You know, I have to remember that no matter what I do, I have to come back to this place. This is not only my home, but this is my medical center too. So I can't, you know, what I would love to do sometimes I know is very restricted unless I take that machine with me. And I can't. I still have the quality of life where I work. I work 2 jobs. You know, on weekends I'll go out during the daytime. But I think it's also a mental piece too. You know, sometimes you have to draw yourself back and remember. Look, you have to come back to your medical center at 9, 10 o'clock. You know, I get out at 8 o'clock sometimes, and I'll forget. I'll get so caught up in the moment. I literally sometimes have to set alarm at 8:30 on my my phone.
No, that's
watch, so it'll go off, so it'll remind me, you need to get home. You know what I mean? Because that moment, you're so caught up, you will forget. You know, because for me, I'm so energetic. You know, if I'm not feeling really lethargic, right. So, the quality of life it'll be 2 things. It'll be mental, and it'll be physical for me. The food, I'm not all about the food. I do like to party. I do like to go out. I love to entertain. I can't do that anymore. I can't party as like I used to. I can't entertain like I used to. You know, I can't be with my boys like I want to. You know, one of the things that I love to do, I like to go to Vegas too. I like to fish. You know, I love to play sports. I used to go to the gym, play a little ball with my friends. I can't do a lot of those things. You know what I mean? Because I have to maintain my health in this form than I did with the other form. So yes, the quality of life is what I'm really looking forward to. I may not be running out and doing trying to join the NBA when I get through when I get my kidney. But I do look forward to.
You can play 5-on-5. You can play pickup,
shoot around time, or I do look forward to. Right. I do look. The most thing is I look forward to is the spontaneousness. I look forward to let's do a 2-day trip without having to be stuck to a machine.
Okay.
I look forward to those days. So those are things that I am looking forward to.
And you know what? If I could piggyback on top of that. If I could piggyback on top of that, in regards to the peritoneal, even though that it is a life-altering thing and you have to be mindful that you're going through a dialysis, whether it's peritoneal or hemo, yes, you are limited on what you can do. However, knowing that you can still do it even halfway is still better than not doing it at all, because it's what keeps you mentally stable. And being mentally strong going into this, knowing that you have to do these dialysis every day or every 3 days if you're doing hemo or whatever, it keeps you mentally strong to where you're accepting going through it. And then once it's done and over, you go back into your routine of living your life. So dialysis does not mean that does not mean that now that you're stuck doing dialysis, there's nothing you can do. No, not at all. You have the mindset now of getting your dialysis done. Dialysis rejuvenates you because of what your kidneys is not doing. So therefore, when I did it 9 hours a night in the morning, I felt good and I took advantage of feeling good. Therefore, my mind was set ready for the next day. And I kept doing it a little bit over a year until I luckily had my transplant done. So that's a good point you brought up. Marshall. Good point. And I think it's something people should exercise. They should exercise that to where no matter what routine, whether it's infusions, whether it's dialysis, there's light after that, because what this is doing is helping your body get through it. Now it's up to you to take advantage of your up times and move on and keep going.
And you did PD too, right, Emmett? You did peritoneal, right?
Yes, I did. And I was amazed and really glad I made that decision, because all I did was let the machine do its job at night. And in the morning, I disconnected, and nobody would ever thought that I was sick or going. You don't even think I'm sick now, but I'm just saying, nobody would have thought I was going through that. And like Marshall had said, I kept it in mind that at night, I had to lay down. At night, I can't stay out all night with you guys, because the longer I'm out at night, the longer I'm going to be on my dialysis. And I'm not trying to fool my body like that. It's a sacrifice I had to make, but if the stakes are your life, you're going to make those sacrifices. You're going to make them.
Yeah. Man, that's well said. Well said, Emmett.
Thank you.
Right. It was. Another thing that's really important, is really important, is to circle yourself around positive people who encourage you on a daily basis. I'm going to tell you, when I first started going through end-stage kidney disease, I was going through a very tough emotional moment in my life. And I thank God that I had, a higher power who had these circle of warriors like yourself and Emmett, who had my back, and they would not let me. They knew how energetic I was. They knew how, how I was, motivated. I was very inspirational. I was very about, moving up in the company, going education, teaching, and, doing things that I love the most. And I started to go down through the wrong direction, and they could see it. And they said, Marshall, they would not allow me to have a pity party. They would not allow me to, to sit and accept, being someone who was sick. They said, Marshall, this is temporary. You just need to get, and it was one of those things where you can tell everybody, hey, just get over it and keep it moving.
Not everybody would understand.
One of the sayings, biblical sayings, is pick up your mat, you know what I mean, and take it with you, because everybody, and it's true, it's just me and Emmett ended up getting lupus. That's our cards. We have we've been played these cards. We have to play them. Whether a good hand or whether it's a bad hand. We either bluff
have to play them.
You know what I'm saying? When you play poker, you get a bad hand, you can bluff it and win the hand, or you have a good hand, you can
still gonna play
whatever you want to and still win. To double, triple. You know what I mean?
Right.
You still gonna play. You're right. So you have to figure: am I gonna play and act crazy, or am I gonna play? And my friend, I love her to death. Her name is Michelle. She would always say, when I walked her into her house, first she'd say some crazy stuff, but then she'd say, are you gonna have faith, Marshall? Or are you gonna, and I would say, she said, you're gonna have faith or you're gonna have fear? And I would say, okay, I'm gonna have faith. And every time I would act like I'm moping and gloping, she looked at me again and she said, you gonna have faith or you gonna have fear? And I said, okay, I'm gonna have faith.
That's a good friend. That's a good friend.
That is a good friend. And you know the good thing about that good friend is that when she's not there, you're still going to keep that drive, because you don't want her to find out that you slipped. So you're still going to keep going if she wasn't there.
Right. Right.
Hey, thank you. I just want to give a shout out to Kevin here. Thanks for watching, Kevin. He says he has FSGS, focal segmental, and then I always forget the end, syndrome. The G part always throws me off. But so it damages kidneys as well, and that's and he's it sounds like he has kidney problems because of the FSGS. And I've interviewed other warriors that have had kidney failure, renal failure because of FSGS. Thanks for watching, Kevin. Love the avatar, by
the way. Thank you. Kevin's a warrior too. I know a few guys going through that, and they're all pretty much just fighting to keep doing, and it's mental at the same time, and it's mind over body. And Kevin, just stay strong, man. You're a warrior.
Right.
Awesome. Yeah, he's saying that,
you can get through it. That's the thing. We have to let. Right. We just, you can get through it. Everything that you go through, like Emmett said, is temporary. Even if you have a series of things that pop up in your life, I want to let this gentleman know, whatever he's dealing with, it is temporary. and he will get through it. And then he may have another, another step, but he will get through that too, and when you do get through it, you rejoice over the fact that you fought through it.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
You
Good
have
point.
to reward yourself. You have to thank yourself.
It's
You have
awesome.
yes,
I
you
totally
do.
am
You
on
have to
board with
thank
that.
yourself
Even
for
if
things like
it's
that.
even the smallest things we've got that we champion, we need to celebrate. I
That's
totally
right.
agree with you about that.
That's it.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
That's why it's important
to
take advantage of the times that you're feeling good, because you may have a lot of times of feeling down, but the time you're feeling good, don't be down. There's times where you go through this illness, and don't get me wrong, you need recovery time. You need recovery time no matter what. It's just that when you reach that recovery time and you reach that goal of getting over and you're recovered, now go face the world and have some fun, because any autoimmune disease or any type of organ failure can take so much away from you that you don't want that to be your story. You don't want it to be your story. We're on Jared's show because we have a story. We have a story. And any other warrior that's been on any of these platforms, they have a story. They got something to fight for. And they're inspired. I was inspired watching everybody that I seen on these platforms. And I have my own story. So I take it to myself and I see that they can do it. I can do it. And that's just the domino effect with everybody that we want. So again, it's a big thing, Jared, of what you're doing, man. I take my hat off to you.
Thanks, man. You do. I like what you do too, bro, because you're out there too. You're out there, man. You're on the streets. I see you at the kiosk, and you're
right.
But it's that whole thing that it's a community of autoimmune diseases. Sorry, go ahead. It's a whole community thing that we're all in, and we need all of these. We need all these. Go ahead, Marshall.
No, I was saying, I was just going to compliment Jared. Now, I told him when I first met him, I was watching and I couldn't believe it. I said, it's honestly, I was looking and I kept seeing, and I shouldn't say this, but I'm gonna say it. But I kept seeing all these African American people come on your show, and I said, Jared must have a little bit of African American inside of him or something, because you have all these wonderful people on your show.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? I want to build this legitimate show. He's helping all these. Of course, you have a diverse group of people. Don't get me wrong.
I do. You're right.
There is always a special person, and I have multiple friends. I'm not that person say I have this type of friend or this type of friend, but I have a diverse group of friends too. But when I see a diverse group of people helping out a diverse group of people, it's a special person with a special heart that will take the time out and do the things that you're doing to help people, to save lives. Just like Bennett, you two are very special. And, Jared said something that was so real yesterday. He said, it's different when people see and they hear things and they say, hey, you know what? I love to pray for you, Emmett. But he coined it so well. He said, that's different if you don't act on it. He said, if you act on it and you say, I want to pray for you, but if you act on it, that means getting out in the neighborhood. That means getting out in the community. That means doing the things that he's doing. That means saying, you know what? A simple, I will forward this, this program to somebody else to show that I really care about my friend. That's different because action, has a true result to it, and it has a true impact to it. So you're doing something that not only has a true impact, it has a angelic impact. So you have to be very proud of yourself, both of you. And I appreciate you having me on the show because I really look forward to that day that I'll have the opportunity to kind of, branch off and advocate for folks who are going through the same thing I'm going through one day.
That's right.
At this time,
have you
I'm the patient. I'm the patient now. You know what I mean? I need y'all help. so I'm the vulnerable one right now. But hopefully one day I'll get to where Emmett is and where you are, Mr. So.
Absolutely, you will be. And hopefully very soon. And I've said this before, and I said this to you, Marshall, and I'm sure I've said it to Emmett, is that God works in mysterious ways, and I firmly believe that this is a calling of mine, and even though, and you're right, I'll help whoever needs help. I will.
Right.
I've got that kind of a heart. I will. However, even though kidney disease does not discriminate,
Right.
and someone who
No.
is transgender, or someone who's Filipino, or from Italy, Spain,
Right.
a very diverse, it's not going to discriminate. With that
Right.
being said,
Right.
okay, it does affect a higher percentage of people of color.
Yep.
All right. And I'd be
Right.
blind if I didn't see that. And so, yes, I do reach out. I'm not going to lie. I do reach out to more African Americans because of that. I
Because
do.
yeah.
Yeah, it affects them more. And so, and again, I'm not saying that I don't pay attention to someone who is struggling. I've had white people on here. I've had,
Right.
Latinos.
I've seen.
I've had all
Right.
sorts of races on here, and I've even had homosexuals on here. So I'm a person who's going to help everybody, but okay, it does affect African Americans at a higher percentage, and so
it does. And
does that make sense? Without
you do.
digging myself a hole and saying
No,
I'm not reaching out to other people.
Well, no, I mean, that's statistically correct. Yeah, you're statistically correct.
You're
It's
Right.
making a
different when
lot
you
of
have your
sense.
opinion, but it's the same. Right.
Yeah.
And you have the facts, and you talk facts.
And because of that, it's like when you reach out and have different diverse of people on here, you're reaching out to human beings of being able to do self-care and listen to their bodies and learn. So it doesn't matter what color you are. We all bleed. We all can hurt.
Right.
But
We do all bleed the same.
having everybody on here listening to these programs will pretty much say, hey, wait a minute. If Emmett and Marshall has signs like this when they were kids, maybe that's what I'm going through now.
Yeah.
Whether you're Latino, white, Mexican, no matter what you are. So that has people pay attention now to themselves. And it's kind of like, well, wait a minute. Every month I have this bad pain and nobody can tell me. Maybe I need to be more proactive and advocate and go find out things. So this is a perfect way of doing it. It has nothing to do with color or creed or nothing. It's human beings. We all have the same anatomy. We all have the same anatomy. And we all bleed, and there's so many different diseases out there that if you don't pay attention to your body now, it can be bad later. When I got diagnosed, I was at kidney failure already. That's because as a man, I just brushed off little pain here and there. But if I would have seen these shows,
we do that. I do that.
If I would have saw these shows prior or at the time, yes, I would have paid more attention.
Yeah.
Right.
I would have paid more attention.
That is so true.
No.
That's so true.
It is, yeah. I mean, have y'all ever heard of? Have you all heard of diverticulitis?
Yes.
Okay. The skin.
So there's if I can express this well. So there's diverticuli, and they're like little pockets, and if you're eating. Oh man, I'm gonna mess this up. But anyway, if you're not eating well enough and you're not eating enough fiber, if I'm saying that well, then all of a sudden these pockets get bloated, and then diverticulitis is when it's all inflamed.
Yes.
And so I had diverticulitis, and it was, it probably nothing compared to the pain you guys go through, but I was in severe pain. And then, I'm going to be a little graphic here, but, doing number 2, I was bleeding, and so I'm thinking, what is going on, and so, and I was really, as a man, I'm like, I gotta say something. And it wasn't easy for me. It took me literally like maybe 2 days, even though I was bleeding and I shouldn't, it took me like 2 days to man up. Do you know what I mean? And say something. It took me 2 full days, and I'm like, hey, this is probably just in my head, or,
Wow.
And so I'm guilty of that.
Right. That's a man. That's a man.
Yeah.
Right.
And with that said, it is something that, like I said earlier, and Marshall, when as back then, it's not anything that we did. When I first got diagnosed, I was career minded in work,
Oh,
and I was telling Marshall, I I
yes.
was I was
Very
better
similar.
making more
Yeah.
money at work instead of being homesick, so I never
Yeah.
went in.
Right.
I think now with everything going on, especially with COVID, people can't take chances of ignoring symptoms. You can't take
Right.
chances to
Right.
ignore symptoms, especially if you know
Right.
there's routine. If there's a routine issue,
Hmm.
you got to get checked out. You got to, because it could be the difference of catching something soon as of opposed now it's too late. Now you need aggressive
And
action.
then kidney problems and
Right.
other things. Yeah. Hmm. Hey,
Exactly.
hey,
Exactly.
Kevin's got a question here, and I've not heard of cyclosporin. He's asking if we know it.
Hmm.
I'm
Cyclosporin.
not sure if that's more
No,
Mm.
FSGS related or
could
if
be.
it's applicable to what
Yeah,
maybe
it
he's
might
going
be
through. But
because I
Cyclosporin.
take cell set. Yeah, for my lupus. Um,
hmm
I take cell set, and I take the super drug for the other super drug for COVID-19. Um,
all right, all right.
COVID-19.
Hydroxychloroquine.
Yeah, right. The super drug. So I take
Yeah.
The
that
super
too.
drug.
So yeah, my friends were like, Marshall, don't you take that drug? I said, yeah, but I can't sell it on the market. So, uh,
Homie, it sounds like something
when
girlfriend's
COVID
giving
first came out,
you later or something.
So, Marshall, I have a question for you
right,
then.
right.
So, when you're diagnosed with lupus, was your kidneys already at a certain stage, or did that gradually
You
come?
know,
And if it did, how fast did they decline?
yeah, that's a very great question, Emmett. No, my kidneys weren't that bad. My kidneys,
Mm,
if I remember vividly, I remember my kidneys were at like 80%. They were doing really well at the time that
Okay.
I had got diagnosed.
Uh-huh.
The problem was that we just couldn't get my blood pressure down. My kidneys, I
yeah,
think,
yeah,
were already damaged. I think they were damaged, but when the blood pressure issue started flaring up really bad, that's when I think the combination of the lupus and the blood pressure just started attacking my kidneys simultaneously. And it went from 80 to literally 30 in like 8 months. It was
yeah,
so fast.
yeah.
I thought to myself, am I doing something wrong? I asked the doctor. And it took me, it's funny you say that it's not our fault, because it took me a long time to forgive myself. It took
Mm,
me so long. Sometimes I even still reminisce on things that I think I could have done to avoid losing
Differently.
my kidneys.
Okay.
I
right,
go
Yeah.
back and I go,
right, right.
did I not take my medication, like I should have? Was I too active when I should have been resting? Was I working too
Gotcha.
many jobs? I keep
A lot of
circling that
self-reflection.
same stuff in my head over and over until I got to the point and I said, Marcia, you got to stop. Enough is enough.
Yeah,
Forgive yourself. You did not do anything wrong. This just could be medically, and this could be, like you said, biblical, something that just, spiritually had to
Right.
happen so that,
hmm
you'd have a purpose. And so
hmm
I accept that now. I accept my purpose and plan to go through this so that I could, like you said, be an advocate, have a testimony, talk to people, do whatever I need to
yep,
do. And
yep.
then, I'll be okay. I'll be fine. But believe me, it took some time. It took some hard,
I can
just
imagine.
true
Yeah.
counseling, talking to
Well,
people,
and
having
Marshall,
good
I
friends.
I
Yeah.
think the reason why is because you didn't, like myself, we don't have all the answers. So if because of that,
Right.
we keep
Right.
living our life and we just keep on going. We don't have the answers to what the doctor or
Right.
what's going on with us.
Right.
And the doctors can't tell us 100% what's going
Right.
on with us. So we keep on going. And Jared, if I
Right.
can answer Kevin on that question
Yeah.
that he
Let me
has sent,
bring that back.
because he said that medication in the US is called tacrolimus.
Uh-huh.
Tacrolimus is what I was on when I got, and Kevin, if you're listening, I had taken tacrolimus for a long period of time after the transplant. It was known as basically to not, for my body to not reject my kidney. However,
Okay.
tacrolimus in the past, I would say year or so, somehow either got discontinued or stopped, and they put me on a whole different one. I don't know the story behind that, but
Right.
they were like, "You're taking tacrolimus, you can't no more. Let's put you on
They
something
pulled it.
else."
All
And
right.
they won't tell us, of
Wow.
course,
They
why.
won't-
But Kevin, I don't know if you've had a transplant or not. I don't know if they're giving you as an anti-rejection type of drug, but that's what it was used for in me. And again, because we're all different,
Oh, right.
there could be whole different scenarios on why it was used.
Yeah. Good answer.
So
Right.
that's at least my opinion on what I went through in my experience. So, but yeah, so Marshall, back to what I was saying on that, because we didn't have all the answers, we kept on living life, because there's a lot of things that I wish I
Right.
could have gone backwards and said, well, if I known this was that pain, I would have addressed it. You can't beat yourself up and you can't blame yourself.
Immediately.
You
Right.
can't, right? Because you're living your life the way you supposed to, the way God intended you to, and you're not going to slow down because you
Right.
don't have answers. So all you can do is educate yourself on what you believe may be, and just move forward
Hmm.
and take
Right.
that knowledge and apply it for your future and how you live with this disease.
Right. I totally agree with you. I totally agree. Yeah.
No,
Did
it's
you have
it's an
something you wanted?
interesting, very interesting that you said that, Marshall. That it took you a while
I
before you
know.
could, kind of come to terms that
Yeah.
it wasn't your fault, or that, that you were blaming
Right.
yourself, or trying to self-reflect and try to think of what you could have
Hmm.
done
Hmm.
differently. And I can
Right.
only imagine how difficult that must have
Right.
been for you to, to kind of go through that emotionally. That must have been pretty hard for you.
Yeah. Yeah. It was. I mean, I didn't show it as much. I guess on the exterior, but in the inside, oh my gosh, I was beating myself up. I mean,
Yeah.
day in, day out. Like I said, I'm a very spiritual person, so I would admit I even got a little upset with the higher being. I thought, well,
Nice. I love that.
I thought I was a good guy. You have this perception of yourself as a really great
Right.
guy. You
Yeah.
haven't done anything crazy.
Bad things
At
happen
least
to good
I
people
don't
too.
remember. If I
Yeah.
did, I asked for forgiveness. Right.
For whatever.
I didn't think
Yeah.
I did something to deserve something that I thought. Yeah.
Right.
I just
Right.
thought, yeah, because I grew up in a household where my dad he was about, what is it, the brimstone and fire.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Right. Right. Right.
Alpha
Fire
male.
and
reap what you
brimstone.
sow. You know, right. So I'm like, well, good Lord, if I'm reaping this, I'm like trying to figure out what in the world did I sow
Trying to uncover
this.
what it was, the
So I'm going
causes.
way, way, way back in my mind.
Yeah.
I'm right. These are the consequences of
No,
my actions. I'm trying, man, what
like
did
I
I
said,
do?
I can only
So
imagine because, just in general, we do that. Like, man,
right.
I've got,
Yeah.
I've shared this with other people. I've got a daughter that I'm estranged. I'm estranged with one of my daughters now. And I work on that
Right.
and I try to resolve it. But I'm thinking in my mind, um, God, please, what did I do to have this happen? And
Right.
it's
Right.
human nature.
Right.
It really is. But again, I
Right.
commend you for
It
having
is.
overcome that, because when you have that in you and you continually
Right.
have like that guilt, that can be a toxin. It
Yeah.
really can.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's just
It
that,
can be
like,
very toxic.
yeah,
Well,
and in any
yeah.
situation, it's kind of like you can expect to fall back a little bit. You can expect to slip. It's just that you got to make the comeback stronger. That's all.
That's
Because
right.
any type of
That's
disease,
right.
whether you're
That's
going
right.
through any type of transplants or dialysis, it's okay to back from it. Sorry.
No worries.
Just getting phone calls. I'm
Oh,
like,
that's okay.
wow.
It does that, yeah. No, that happens.
Yeah.
So that's
So
just
Right.
it.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
My
Jared.
sister. No, I was just about to say my sister. My sister is a true is also somebody who advocates for me, and she's always,
That's
telling
cool.
me about, she knows how I am. She knows I'm very hard on myself. Yeah, she does. She does that encouragement of, Marshall, I know what you're doing right now. She is so good about saying, stop beating yourself up. And I'm not. I won't have to say one word. She just can
She
hear
just
it
sees
in
your
my
face.
voice, and she can say,
Yeah.
"Stop beating up yourself." She
Uh-huh.
knows it. She
She
knows I'm
knows
beating
you
myself
well.
up, and
Yeah.
because we both are the same, and and we can read each other like a book, and so
Yeah.
she says, she encourages me and says, you're gonna get through this, and you're gonna laugh about it, and I'm laughing about it now. I don't necessarily have to get
Good.
through it now
Good.
to get to that road. I'm laughing about it now, but it was a tough road to get to this point in my life because I shielded myself. I put on that mask really well for a lot of people for a long time because of what I do, the work that I do. I have people who report to me, and I have managers who depend on me, and I had to put on this mask every day to say, I'm just fine. I just need everybody to know I don't want any pity. I just need you to know that I'm here, to rah rah and keep
Good.
everybody going. Inside I'm thinking somebody help me, but I got right. I got through it. I
Oh, yeah.
tried my best. It was tough. I would tell you, it was tough. But I had some angels like yourselves who had the ability to keep me focused. Keep me grounded, and just help me get through it. And
That's good. That's
I'm a
good.
better person for it, and I will be a better person for it.
That's good. You know, I don't know, your
Stronger.
mic may not. There we go.
Oh,
Mic wasn't
sorry.
working for a second there.
Sorry. I was just saying that just having a support system, no matter who it is by your side, it just builds that inner strength in you to where
Hmm.
you know
Right.
that they're there, you're strong. If they're not there, you remain strong. And because you're being coached by
So
by
true.
family members that love
Right.
you and support you. And so you don't want to let them down no matter what. And you
Right.
definitely don't want to let yourself down.
Mm,
So
that's
it's just
exactly
and
right. That's exactly right.
Yeah, that's that's so true, Emmett. The support system is like a foundation. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
when that support is there, whether they're when you're going through a good time or bad time, when that support is there, that foundation is true, then you're not going to fall. But if that foundation is
Right.
weak, then you can, if one thing may go awry and one thing may go wrong, and you don't have that support, then it may actually, there we go. I lost him for a second. Then
I'm here. Oh,
so anyway, so you guys get the analogy, a good foundation.
Right.
And you want that solid foundation.
yeah.
That's good to hear that your sister, that you've got such a good chemistry that she could just see, hearing your inflection in your voice, or
Yeah.
you're doing something. You've got that bond. That's awesome.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, hey, listen,
Um.
we're running out of time here, but what I'd
Okay.
like to do is I want to give a special thank you to Emmett for coming on again.
Thank
Seriously,
you, Emmett.
Thank you
Thank
guys.
you.
for you
Thank
to come
you.
on, honestly,
Thank
was
you.
huge. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for coming on, giving
Yeah.
him support, and talking about
Yeah.
commonalities, things that you have in common because of what you've
Yes.
gone through and what you're going through already right now. That's huge. I
Yeah.
appreciate it, man. Much love and respect.
Yeah.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
And
Thank
Marshall,
you.
we will stay in contact. I'd like to talk to you more, and of course, we'll all stay in touch. And Jared, yeah, man.
Yes,
Again,
sir.
it's platforms like yours that needs to be shared all the time and needs to be talked about because this is something that people need to be encouraged by. At the end of the day, we're gonna follow up with Marshall and see where his journey takes him. We may find out, hey, he's got
Yes.
the kidney. Hey, his dialysis
Yeah.
is going great, and that's the news that we want to encourage others to hear and find out
Right.
because that
Right.
gives them so much more hope in their situation.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes.
More hope.
That is that is correct.
All right. Well, thanks again, Emmett. Thank you, man.
Thank
Let's
you.
stay in touch.
Thank you.
Let's all stay connected. And, I hope that things continually go well in regards to how they're going to treat what's going on with your brain and the disease and everything.
Thank you. Thank
I'll be
you.
praying
Yes.
for
Me
you in
Thank
that
too.
you.
way.
Me too.
And again, I know I wish your mom a happy birthday, but man, I hope that she continues to live a
Yes.
very full life. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
God bless.
Thank you.
Well,
God bless,
God bless.
guys. Thank you,
Okay.
everybody.
Thank you.
Oh, I cut you off. My bad. So I cut you off inadvertently.
Right.
My bad. So
Are we
thanks.
off the air
Thanks.
now?
No, we're still on.
Oh.
I inadvertently cut you off. I apologize, man.
Oh, no, no. I'm good. I'm good.
All right,
I'm good.
brother. Thank you again.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Yeah.
You're
Thank you.
welcome. So Marshall, what I'll do is I'll just give you a moment here to give shout outs, and maybe sometimes what I do is I ask, it gives a moment for the person I'm interviewing to maybe give a plea as well. However you'd like to end it, whether you want to give a plea, your shout outs, I'm going to give you just a moment here and spotlight you and put you solo, okay?
Okay. Well, thank you so much. And I guess, this is my first time, and I really don't necessarily know how to shout out because, I have so much pride as a person, but I have been humbled by my experience as an end-stage kidney disease, basically patient. Um, I am asking humbly. I know a lot of you who are going through this, understand what I'm going through. When you talk about having a desire to not have to be hooked up to a machine every night, or to remember how it was when you could just, not necessarily have a curfew, or you can eat what you want, or you can visit your friends when you want to, or you can travel whenever you want to. Those things seem very insignificant. But more importantly, just having the quality of life is very, very significant for me. So I'm dearly, truly, and humbly asking if you have a heart to donate a kidney to me, I would love for you to be tested if you could. Um, it's hard for me to humble myself to ask because I am such a prideful person who has been doing everything on my own. But I know there's somebody who's out there special who, would be able to provide that gift or that miracle for me. And I thank you for hearing me out. I know my faith is strong. Whether I get a living donor or whether I don't get a living donor, I know I will be blessed in the future with the kidney. But it will be a blessing to have a living donor who would be more than happy to at least test for me. So thank you so much for hearing me out. You be blessed. Thank you for Jared. Thank you so much, sir. You just keep blessing others with your program, and prayerfully one day I'll have the opportunity to be able to be an advocate, just like you, for those who are going through tough times, and who have end-stage kidney disease for whatever reason, so that God will have me bless them in the way that you have blessed them as well, and myself. Thank
You're welcome. Yeah, God bless, man.
you.
I'm glad that we got connected. I'm glad we did this, and I'm going to promote this as much as I can. Broadcast this
Yeah.
on all of the social media platforms, and hopefully you'll hit me up whenever that
Right.
may be, whether it's a week from now or a month from now or a year from now,
Yeah.
whenever it might be. Holler at me. All right, let me know. Hey, I've got the call. Okay.
I sure will. Thank you. Thank
All
you.
right,
This
you're
was
welcome.
fun. Have a good
Well,
have a good night.
you as well, brother. And I may, every now and then I may have some other people in this same sort of industry community that may want to interview you as well. Would it be okay if I
Okay.
forward
Oh,
your
most definitely.
information to them?
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely.
All
I'll
right,
be more
cool.
than happy. Yeah.
All right, I'll do that then. Thanks, Marshall. Have a
Take
blessed
care.
evening.
You too. You too.
All right, guys. So we've had a great co-host tonight, Emmett Henderson. I'm so happy that he could come on and co-host with me because he could relate. He could understand the pain. He could understand the emotion that was going on. And I'm so thankful that Emmett came on. Great warrior, and he does so much. Follow him on Instagram. Follow Emmett Henderson on Facebook. He does so much. He advocates for lupus warriors. He does so much for the lupus community. Very thankful for Emmett Henderson. Seriously, thank you so much. And Marshall Parson, man, very, very good person. He's got a great soul. So please, if you're watching this and you're inspired, all right, much like what we've already talked about, discussed, all right, if you feel inspired, act on it. All right. I want your prayers. I'd like to have more prayers, but please, if you're inspired, be inspired and act on it, and call the hospital information. We've got the URL here down at the bottom scrolling across as well. So if you want to help, okay, please share this information. Share it on Facebook, share it on Twitter, share it on Instagram, Snapchat, all right, TikTok, or whatever, all right, and send people to that URL. Send them to this YouTube channel. Have them watch this, and so that way they know the phone number, 210-567-7777. And they can get connected with a transplant coordinator. The transplant hospital coordinator will speak with them, answer the questions that they may have. And if you have questions, you can get them answered. Many people who have gone on to become living kidney donors live very normal lives afterwards. They ride a bicycle, they jog, they do a lot of fitness things, and they do what they were doing previously, or before the surgery. So please act on inspiration. All right. Please, if you can't donate your kidney, then donate a share, and share this so that we can get the word out, and hopefully we can find somebody who is healthy enough to donate to Marshall Parson as well. So thank you everybody for following the Warriors Quest show. All right, please click on the like button, click on the subscribe and the bell, hit that bell. Don't be stingy. All right, please share this. All right, let's get this word out for this warrior here. Thank you, everyone. I'm going to say peace out. Thanks, Kevin, for watching from the UK. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you for watching, and thank you for your comments. Any other people that watch this after this is live, please comment as well, because the more comments, the more this will become visible, and the more we share this, the more engagement, the more this will be visible, and the more attention we can give to Marshall, so that we can make sure we get the word out. So thank you, and I'm going to say peace out, and I'm going to do an outro here, so bear with me here. All right, peace. I'm out. All right, here we go.